After watching this video, you will be able to transform your Android home screen from this to this, and all you need are just Nova Launcher, simplified icon pack and KWGT. But before we dive in, the question is why? Why set up the home screen this way? Let me explain. Most of the notifications are very accessible with this setup. In fact, they are on the home screen, the very first thing you see after unlocking your phone. And they are presented in the form of modern looking widgets. Top widget displays the most recent notification and currently running task with their respective labels. And below that, you will see the current day. No full-blown calendar information, just the day. I think it looks clean, simple and better this way. To go further down, you get the calendar information for the week. That is simple enough to not clutter the home screen, but functional enough to quickly glance at if there is important coming up. And this thing right here is very interesting. I'll talk about it in a bit, but I want to see if you can figure out what it is and what its functionality is. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see how many of you can figure it out by just looking at it. So that's all I could fit into the default home screen, but I do have another screen with even more information. These two dynamic squares reveal the hardware of your machine, showing the hardware stats of your Android smartphone, CPU usage and RAM usage to be specific. And below that, I have time in very simple style. I wanted it to be easily accessible because most of the time, I just glance at the time on my smartphone in a hurry. And below that, there is a weather widget in an informative style, displaying everything about the weather while maintaining an aesthetic appeal. But for some people, making information accessible isn't the reason enough to switch to another launcher. And if that's the case for you, I have another reason as the answer to the question I posed at the beginning. In addition to being incredibly informative, this setup exudes some modernity in every pixel. Let me show you how it stands out in the world of smartphone customization. This setup is like the marriage of form and function, because right from the start, you are greeted with the widgets that are not just functional but also visually striking. The modern aesthetics of this setup make it a feast for the eyes while keeping you updated on your device status. Remember that thing I mentioned at the beginning? Let's talk about it now. With just a glance at the home screen, you'll know if you have missed something important thanks to this widget. For me, it's like a feature smartphone manufacturers would be very happy to advertise. These three pills show the unread count for the important events, unread WhatsApp messages, unread emails, and missed calls. First, you need to install the required apps, Nova Launcher, KWGT, and simplified icon pack. And for the widgets pack, I have provided a zip file that contains all the widgets needed for this setup. Just download that zip file from the description down below. As for the Nova setup, you don't have to do anything. I have provided a backup file for this setup. Just download it from the description and then restore it from Nova settings. I'm assuming you already know how to do this if you are watching a Nova setup video, so I won't go into details on this part. And after you restore the backup file, if you don't see the simplified icons applied, simply apply the icon pack from the Nova settings and then choose the widgets. Just remember that this setup isn't about providing information. It's about making a statement of modernity, style and innovation in the palm of your hand. By the way, if you are not a fan of Android home screen looking like a gallery of widgets, then this minimal setup is the one for you. Minimal shouldn't be boring, and this setup shows you how.